Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things health, happiness and helping you to go after a life that you freaking love. And we are back with part 2 of my interview with Mama FurFur, where we are all talking all things and getting your shit together with your finances once and for all. So let's get into it. If you enjoy this content, make sure that you subscribe and hit on the like button as well, as it really does help me out. So let's go for part 2. I know you're gonna love it.
What I hear you saying is like, I'm definitely not a spreadsheet girl. They are not my thing. However, again, I've had a mindset shift around it that if I can almost turn it into, because I'm ambitious and I'm quite competitive, so I can look at it. It's not a spreadsheet, it's a game. How do we get to win the game? By keeping the numbers and keeping in check of them. So that's how I've been able to shift it and learning to get a little bit better with spreadsheets and numbers, but it does take that time. And do you have, because I know you have some bundles and things that you have available, because I think that's the thing, if you've got a template, it's going to make everything so much easier for you, isn't it?
Exactly. So that's what I created a couple of years ago, actually. It's called the Autopilot Money Spreadsheet System. It's a little Excel document, beautiful little thing that has a budget tool there. It's got a debt repayment model tool. You can fire in your numbers. It even teaches you about financial freedom. So, you know, the ultimate goal is passive incomes in some way, so that you're not exchanging your time for money. So that little tool, you can get it from my Etsy store. It's about £14–15 for about 7 or 8 spreadsheets in one. I promise you, it's changed, I think, nearly 700 people's lives so far. We've sold in the past couple of years. So, and I use it every single weekday. So if you want some help and you're happy to, you know, go and buy that, by all means. But you can also, if you want to build your own, absolutely just go on Google and find out information.
No, I'm definitely, well, yeah, that's it. There are free options out there, but I suppose this is why maybe I have a little bit more credit card debt. I'm like, no, I want to pay for that. I want to get it done.
Exactly. So I've got the tools. If I could help you with that, yeah, absolutely, it's there for you.
Great. So next question that we had, this is more of a mindset one. So April said, for me, it's letting go of the money. So she's got savings. She was working on paying a mortgage down because she wanted to be mortgage free. So she was very, very on it with that. But then she's got into this mindset of, I can't have that. I can't treat myself to that, even though she's got the money, and feeling as though she has to get the cheaper version of everything. And we've had this conversation around like self-worth and stuff. Do you have any kind of comments on that, really? Because I know from watching your videos, you allocate a fun budget, a fun portion into your budget. So maybe we could touch on that.
Sure. So yeah, as you said, it sounds a lot of terms of almost about the guilt and lack mindset. If I spend on myself, I'm not worthy. You know, it's got to be absolute minimum. And part of what I like to teach people is actually, if you're bringing in your income, you can divide it in ways so that you can have, and I say about 10%, even more than that if you can allow it, that's guilt-free. You know, you've saved, you've paid into investments, you've worked on your future, maybe your pension or investment portfolio, you've paid your bills, you're meant to enjoy life right now. Because the whole point of using money is not scarce. Money is in complete unlimited supply. They're actually printing more money right now to help in the economy. So it's just a tool, and it really is. It should be about designing life on your terms, and also the life that you see yourself having in future. Because it sounds like, from the way the lady was describing it, it doesn't seem that fun. It doesn't seem like it's inspiring her to show her, you know, her full potential. So I would also do a little bit of a mindset exercise, which is, think about ways that you could feel prosperity and abundance without spending money, but also with perhaps spending £20, let's say. So it could be, well, I'd feel incredible if I went and got a manicure, or, you know, when the shop's open or whatever. Or actually, I would go on Amazon and it would feel really luxurious if I got a really nice bath set, or I got a really great book that I've been. And it's all those little moments of actually, let's feel prosperous and feel how good the exchange of money can feel. As long as you meet your commitments and you're doing everything you can, you're allowed to have fun. You should be having fun. And I think we forget sometimes money only has value when you exchange it. So there's no good me holding on to it and you holding on to your pile it only becomes valuable when we actually interact. When you say that you've got a talent that I need, it's then what I think the value is. So keep the flow of money circulating in your life, allow it to be guilt-free, and you'll actually have a lot of fun with money rather than, and I think there's maybe some stuff in the past that she's felt that she's had to hold on to. I think we could change that. And those are just a couple of things. Think of ways that you could do prosperous or luxurious activities for a little bit of money right now, but would help you to build up your confidence with having fun with money.
Yeah, I think, and just what you touched on then about the flow of money, like within the situation that we're in right now, you know, there is people that do still have money are feeling fearful and kind of having to hold on to it, but yet there's still that's what's going to get the economy going again, is people being able to, and it's having that mindset of knowing that it can come back in again as well.
Well, there's a very old prosperity book from the 1960s, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. I love all that old school prosperity stuff. And basically she says, you know, the moment that you put it out, it'll actually return to you tenfold. So every time you were talking about buying a course or buying education, that money, I guarantee that's come back to you multiplied over, because you're then helping someone else, you're helping yourself. So especially true with giving a portion of your money. So I believe that we should really try to aim for about maybe 5 or 10% of the money we receive. Try and give it to things you support, causes, people who uplift you, things you believe in and you want to make a difference in the world with. You're allowing yourself to feel that overflow of money and feel good about sharing it, and allowing other people to do good things with it as well.
Yeah, I love that. I really love that. Aisha, she was feeling that she's a vet, she earns a pretty decent wage, she also has a horse, but yet she still feels that she can't make her money go far enough, and she is a spreadsheet girl. She's even told me she's a spreadsheet girl. So any tips that maybe, I mean, again, it's difficult without the complete breakdown, but for someone who's feeling like their money just not going far enough, it doesn't matter how much they earn, it never seems to be quite enough.
Okay, so it probably again goes down to feeling that money is scarce in some way, you know, that this is endless cycle of, even though her wage could keep going up, it seems to keep going out the back door. Probably similar exercises before, like sit and think a list of maybe 5 or 10 things where you don't have to spend money to still feel the luxurious and the joyful bits of life. Could it be that actually looking after our horse makes her feel incredible? You know, actually the grooming, going out for a ride, that doesn't cost anything. Reading a book, going for a walk, little things like that that really emphasize that there's the joy can still be there without necessarily having money. And it sounds kind of, I'd really need to see our budget, but perhaps there is areas that aren't giving her as much joy, that she feels like she's spending, you know, a huge proportion of her wage on stuff that isn't really making her happy. Like there could be a lot of money spent on perhaps eating that she's not feeling the benefits of, the best quality food. There could be something there. So just think about ways that you can make yourself feel great without the equation of money being in it. And the other thing as well is, it could well be that particular career, there's something waiting to open up for her that actually is her next level of achievement. If she's a vet, perhaps she's now got so much information or knowledge that she could help other vets in the sideline. So there's some kind of area there where we could actually open up an unlimited supply of money. Because the moment that you have anything that's a little bit of a side hustle or a passive income where somebody can pay you, but you don't necessarily have to exchange your time for it, there's a whole lot of, you know, opportunities for more and more money to come towards you rather than just a day job. So perhaps even exploring that could be the way that she actually sees money come to her life that she would like to design her life with in future.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, that's the great thing about having a side hustle, or, you know, the entrepreneur life full time is not for everybody, but having it as a side hustle is a nice hobby and a nice and fun way to make money as well. So yeah, some really great tips there. And then we just had, this was along the similar line actually from Charlie, and she was just saying that you know, again, she earns a decent wage, but she only seems to be able to save for like a holiday. But it's having that, you know, when any emergency comes up, you know, and Dave Ramsey, he talks about having this $1,000 emergency fund. Do you have a similar set of things that you work through, that you advise people to have a certain amount in an emergency fund, a certain amount in savings? How do you format?
I would really say, so like Dave Ramsey, I think having some form of cash reserve is really critical for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave Ramsey's principles, if anyone's aware of them, he focuses on you must pay off your debt first, and then you build up an emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of immediate cash, 3 to 6 months of your bills being paid and food on your table, nothing else. So that would be the immediate cash. And then he says, then you can invest, you can give to others, you can pay off your mortgage. So there's a sequence after that. For me, I actually believe that because we want all these great habits in our life anyway, we want to be saving, investing, giving to others, building up reserves. Try and do it from now. So even just a small portion of your money every single month, allocate as, right, I'm going to save 1% of my wage if that's all I can manage, or £50 or £100, something you're committing to from now on. And the same with, perhaps if you want to give to others, put that in your budget, a fixed amount, even if it's £1, £50, I don't care, put the habit in your budget. But really, I would say, especially now, try and build up a reserve slowly of having about 3 months immediate cash, especially if you are a full-time entrepreneur. Make sure you're balancing your books so that you're keeping some of your profit as that buffer. Just because we want to have a couple of months that if you needed some time with your family or you needed to do things differently, you've got a way to support your life as well. I do think the more we can kind of build these habits parallel rather than waiting for a moment in time to happen to make us do it, that way you've got the habit there, and you can do it automatically. You can do it with direct debits, start of the month.
This was an interest. I read a book called The Latte Factor. I don't know if you've read it. It's brilliant. Exactly, and the one thing that I got from that was to automate it. So I was just putting a really small amount on standing order, automated, going out, and it feels, again, that I'm a very feely person, so if you're like, you get, it's coming, it really helps. Absolutely. And then you can gradually start to make it more. So I think that's a really great and useful way to start thinking about how to manage it. It doesn't have to be a lot, it can start really small.
Absolutely. And I would, especially right now, there's some of the basic principles that our grannies probably did, or grandparents. A lot of the time, people used to carry around little notebooks when we didn't have online banking, and they would actually write how much money they were spending every day. So £5 for a cup of tea and a Kit Kat, £4 on the shopping. I would actually even go back to those old habits of tracking what are you actually spending with your money, because often when we feel like we don't have money, there's some money leaks in our life. There's little areas
going through the bottom of the bucket.
Exactly. So we're tapping our cards, we're maybe buying things on Amazon, and
how easy that is these days, contactless. You're not even thinking about it.
So having that record and just recording. There's a lady called Julia Cameron. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, who wrote The Artist's Way. So The Artist's Way is a famous creative writing tool.
I've got that book on my bookshelf. I've not read it.
You need to read it.
Get it.
It's a 12-week course where you're basically going back to these old artistic habits. And she has a book about money called The Prosperous Heart, which is 12-week course going back to these old habits of being accountable for your money. How do you want to design your life? So, look at the cold hard facts of how you're spending. And even if it's just every week you're putting automatically £5 into an account, that's the habit you're now driving. Same with investing. I love investing. It's a way to actually grow wealth fast in the bank account. But, just start by, okay, I'm going to invest £1 this week. I'm going to send that away. Can't touch it. And do the habits that you believe you want in your life. Start doing them now.
Yeah, I must admit, I did look into investing because I have a Revolute card, and I liked about the Revolute. So when you spend on it, it will automatically put the spare change into savings. And then I was looking, you can now also trade on Revolute as well. But I'm looking through all these stocks and shares, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Tons of videos. The really easy answer is, if you learn about low cost index funds, that is the way that everyday people can, because I would hope that most people have thought about pensions. You're actually investing. If you've got a pension, you're investing anyway. So if you get the little bit of knowledge, it's another way that you'll build your wealth that could actually be an income source for you. So honestly, it's one of the best things you can do for your life. Just learn a little bit about investing.
Okay, and I know you've been posting some videos
Yep,
about that recently because
I've been
I've
doing
totally
lots.
been stalking your YouTube channel. So I'll put the
Oh,
link for that as well. So
all my
just to
book
finish off, I know you've actually already given us some really good book recommendations, but I always like to ask people, because I run a self-development book club as well. Is there a
Oh,
book
wow.
that you would, number one recommendation for sorting your shit out with money?
Okay, I'm actually beside my bookshelf. So how's this for live
Amazing.
action? Okay, can you see
Yeah.
that one? This is
Yeah.
this is the first book I read ever about money, and it's called I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramith Zethi. He's an American guy. I Will Teach You to Be Rich. It's a step-by-step course on sorting out your money, all about automation, all about investing. They've actually made this UK edition, so it's actually really good. That's the first book I had. Let me also, what's the next one that I would recommend? Okay, I'm going to go old school. My favorite book that's all about prosperity. This is a dynamic tour of my bedroom.
Yeah, nice.
Well. How good stuff. All right, so the one that I mentioned that I think will do your money mindset a lot of good. This is the lady, Catherine Ponder. It's still got a bookmark because I reread it quite a lot of time. It's a money bookmark actually. So the dynamic laws of prosperity. So this lady right here, her whole thing is it's not about the money, it's actually the feelings of money, prosperity, building a life of wealth, health, well-being. And it's a lot of creative things.
And it's still very relevant, even though, yeah, I love
because
that.
This is old school. So it's not talking about investing, it's talking about law of attraction, affirmations, visualizations, building the life that you want to see for yourself. So she's still alive, actually. She's 94, 95.
She was very ahead of her time then.
Especially being a woman in the 60s.
Yeah.
And so she was around in, I think, Texas, where she was talking. But yeah, Catherine Ponder, I think this is about £5 or £6 on Amazon at the moment. Amazing. I've gone through it and it's highlighted. It's a lovely, she comes from a background which is called Unity. So that's a non-denominational religion that she's a minister of. But if you are okay with like the terms of maybe God or a higher power, even replace it with what you're comfortable with. And you know, it's the feeling, it's law of attraction, it's the mindset as well. So that's a really old school, wonderful book that'll just that next level.
Wonderful, thank you. And I have actually just ordered your book because I'm going to read through. You should have mentioned that one, did you?
Oh, there we go. I should have mentioned this one. Yeah, so I'll quickly
test you and see if you mention it, and then I thought I'll mention it for you.
Well, this one is incredible. This is the one you should roll back. This is my book. I wrote it last year. Actually, I will say I actually suffered a mental breakdown last year, and I wrote this book before it. And I'm happy to talk about anything like that if you want me in future. But basically, I wrote a book about how to master your money mindset, and it's 26 principles. So it's not teaching you how to invest, it's teaching you the principles of looking after your money. So emergency funds, thinking about how you're spending, even putting in like morning routines and nighttime routines in your life. So I wanted it to be a textbook that people could come back to years and years later. So yeah, my journey is definitely quite different probably to what most people would think looking at me now. So that's maybe an avenue. If you're interested in someone who's experienced a lot of life through money and life as well, you know, have a read and hopefully you'll enjoy my work.
I'm going to put the links to all of those, and then I've got one final thing that I want to ask you. When it comes to finances, do you have a quote or a mantra that you stick by that is like, this is how the values upon which I base my work upon? Putting you on the spot.
I think it goes back to one of the first things we talked about. I truly believe money is a tool, and it's just the same as your energy, your focus. And the moment that we actually realize that it's completely unlimited, we're completely in control of our resourcefulness. We can, bring about any amount of money we want. The moment that you realize that it's just that tool to help you grow, develop, achieve all your potential, it's the game changer. It takes it from you being controlled by it to actually being the master of it. And that's what I want you to be the master of your money, because honestly, the more powerful relationship you can have with money, I know that you can do good things with it.
This is it. The more you can help people. Absolutely.
Exactly, and do good. And even just the case of, if you're able to earn enough to support your life and then some, that's even better for you. You're going to be able to create your best work. You're going to be free to help so many more people. So why wouldn't you want that for your life?
I think this is a huge thing, that people think wanting more money is selfish. It's like self-care. It's not selfish, it's selfless, because the more that you earn, the more you can help other people, and the more that
Absolutely,
you can
because
have an
you're
impact
then
on the world.
sending it out. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Money, there's a quote, you know, obviously people used to think money is the root of all evil. The quote's wrong. People are misreading it from the Bible. It's actually the love of money that's the root of all evil. So it's actually, you know, idolizing the physical money. It's rather than what it can do for you. So just, if there's some like limiting beliefs that you hold around money, you can change all that, and why not just have fun with it?
Oh yeah, do you know, Jen, I've absolutely loved, I could listen to you talk about it for hours and hours, and hence why I have stalked your YouTube channel. So is that the best place for people to find you? I'll put a link to that and your website as well, because you've got a blog as well, and all the other social channels.
And Instagram and everything. But yeah, as always, you know, you people more than welcome, send me a message on Instagram, drop me an email. Tons of resources on my channel. There's over 250 videos, new content 3 times a week usually. I'm happy to answer
And a full-time working mama. She's incredible. And she is also creating an exclusive training for my Shine Squad members, where we're going to be going through
this is going to be good.
The 7 steps to mastering your money. Is that the one?
So I'm really going to dive deep in a lot of mindset stuff. I'm actually going to help you create wealth machines in your life. I want you to basically overhaul your personal money and your business money. So I think I'm going to put my full best stuff in it. I absolutely guarantee. So I think you're going to enjoy it.
I'm so excited for it, and I know my members, they create the topics that I then go and find the experts for, and this was a conversation that we'd been having. I'm like, yeah, do you know what, this is just the right time, and I'm so glad that we've connected, and it's been absolutely incredible. You've given so much value, and I know people are going to love this, so thank you so much.
Wonderful. And we've solved the Scottish English divide in just one conversation.
Yes,
what more?
No problems at all. Well, I live in France, so
I don't say that's even fun. My husband's from London anyway, so we're all
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to speak to us, and I will speak to you very, very soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Really hope you enjoyed this video. All of the resources that we talked about are down in the links below. I would love to know what your biggest takeaway was from this, so please do leave it in the comments and let us know if you've got any questions at all.